Nobody talks about NBA YoungBoy the way they should. Not really. The blogs will run his name every single week, but they always zoom in on the surface level drama and completely miss the deeper story underneath it. So let us actually go there today. Let us talk about the full picture, because you cannot understand what Jaslyn Michelle is going through right now without first understanding exactly what kind of world she stepped into and who built it. YoungBoy did not stumble into being complicated. He built that reputation brick by brick in front of everybody. The arrests, the court cases, the women, the children, none of that snuck up on anyone. It has all been fully visible for years. And what makes him fascinating as a public figure is that the chaos and the talent have always moved together in perfect sync. The music never suffered. The fan base never wavered. The streaming numbers stayed up regardless of whatever was happening in his personal life on any given week. That separation between the professional and the personal, or really, the complete absence of that separation, is central to understanding everything that comes after. Now, before Jaslyn ever entered the picture, the infrastructure was already fully established. Nisha, Star Thigpen, Drea Simone, Iyanna Mayweather, Floyd's daughter, the one he was actually engaged to. Multiple children across multiple women, and all of it thoroughly documented and discussed publicly. The pattern was not hidden. It was not subtle. Anyone entering that world in 2021 was walking in with receipts already available to study. And Jaslyn walked in anyway. Which, before anyone rushes to judgment, that is actually important context rather than a criticism. Because the interesting question is not why she entered. The interesting question is what happened after she did. Here is what separates her situation from every woman who came before her. YoungBoy got her name tattooed on his body somewhere everyone could see it. Not a small hidden placement you could explain away. A real public declaration. And then on top of that, he started calling her his wife. Out loud. Consistently. Not his girlfriend, not his lady, his wife. This is a man who had a full engagement with Iyanna Mayweather and never once reached for that word. None of the other women, regardless of how serious things appeared, ever got that title extended to them publicly. So when Jaslyn started getting called his wife, the people who actually follow YoungBoy's world understood that was not business as usual. Something genuinely different was happening. Jaslyn met that energy head on. She settled into that wife identity completely, and her whole public presence reflected someone who believed in what was being built. And that is exactly why what came next hit the way it hit. Because the higher the position someone places you in, the further the fall feels when things start shaking. And things shook. The Janita situation did not land the way it did just because of what it was. It landed the way it did because of when it happened and because of who was involved. Jaslyn had just given birth. We are talking days, not weeks, days. Her body was still in recovery. Her hormones were still all over the place. She was in the thick of postpartum while also trying to maintain the image of someone who had everything under control. That is already an impossible ask for anyone. And right in the middle of all of that, this situation surfaces. But here's what really set this apart from the usual noise. Janina is not some random woman trying to get clout off YoungBoy's name. The reports connect her directly to one of his existing baby mothers as a close friend. Think about what that actually means. This is someone who already had a seat at the table, someone who understood the layout of his personal world from the inside, someone who knew exactly what posting that content would do and exactly who it would reach. That kind of move does not come from carelessness. Careless people do not engineer things that precisely. That was a calculated action designed to send a specific message, and it sent it clearly. Every person watching knew it. Jaslyn knew it. And yet she still did not give the internet what it was waiting for. No explosion, no breakdown in public. What she gave instead was something quieter and honestly more telling. A shift. Her energy changed. The way she was showing up online started feeling different to anyone who had been paying attention. Nothing you could grab a screenshot of and turn into a headline, but something you could absolutely feel if you had been watching closely enough. And that shift meant something. Because before that moment, her silence read as strength. After that moment, her silence read as strategy. This is also where most people's analysis completely falls apart. Because the question everybody loves to ask, why does she stay, almost always gets answered with love or money, and then the conversation ends right there. But there is a third factor that is honestly more significant than either of those things, and it barely gets mentioned. Identity. By the time all of this became what it became publicly, Jaslyn had already constructed her entire visible self around being YoungBoy's wife. That was how the world knew her. That was the context her name existed in. Leaving him is not simply leaving a relationship. It is dismantling a whole identity that the public has already attached to you. It means rebuilding not just your daily life, but your entire sense of who you are when nobody is watching and what you represent to everyone who is. For a young woman who entered this world at the age she did, that is genuinely one of the most disorienting things a person can be asked to do, regardless of whether leaving is the right call. That is not an argument for staying. It is an argument for people to stop acting like the decision is simple when they have never once lived inside anything that remotely resembles it. What makes this situation uniquely complicated compared to YoungBoy's prior situations is that the feeling between them appears to be real. This does not look like a one-sided arrangement or something manufactured for optics. The tattoo, the title, moments where his genuine connection to her has shown up in his music, all of that points to something authentic existing there. But authentic feeling and consistent behavior have never been the same thing. And YoungBoy has spent his entire adult life showing people that he can genuinely love someone while simultaneously doing things that contradict that love completely. Both of those things live inside him at the same time, and there is zero evidence he has ever seriously examined why. Over 11 children, a woman he publicly crowned as his wife, years of loyalty from her side that she never once weaponized publicly. And through all of it, his output never slowed, his brand never suffered, his machine kept running exactly as it always had. The personal turbulence has always been completely separate from the professional momentum, which, when you really think about it, tells you a lot about where the actual priorities have always been stacked. What people are picking up on now is that the Jaslyn who quietly absorbed everything and maintained perfect composure regardless of what was happening behind the scenes is not quite the same Jaslyn who has been showing up lately. Something in her presentation is shifted. The energy is different. People who have been genuinely paying attention can feel that this situation is moving towards something rather than staying where it has been. What that something looks like, whether it means walking away, whether it means redefining what she is willing to accept, whether it means something else entirely, none of that is clear yet. But the direction of travel has changed, and that matters. The real conversation here has never been about YoungBoy's behavior. That has been consistent and documented, and honestly, not surprising to anyone who has been paying attention. The real conversation is about what a woman decides she is worth when the person she chose keeps showing her a reality that does not match what she signed up for. About how long real love can carry someone through circumstances that love alone was genuinely never equipped to handle. About what rebuilding yourself looks like when you allowed someone else's name to become the loudest thing about you. Jaslyn Michelle is not a talking point. She is not blog content. She is a real person navigating something genuinely heavy in real time with the entire internet forming opinions about every move she makes or does not make. And before any of those opinions get voiced, what deserves to be said first is this. The composure she has maintained through all of this is not weakness, and it is not delusion. It is actually one of the hardest things a person can do. Hold yourself together publicly while something is coming apart privately. Most people cannot do it. She has been doing it consistently, and that says more about her character than anything the blogs have ever written about her situation.